deadline. 1 year was August 1st. You were out of the fire department. And you in September went back in. Listen, wait. That's just my opinion. And the only way I can see resolving that opinion is a lawyer's going to do that.
And I think it's ridiculous to pay a lawyer to do something.
I know, but it said in the withdrawal, effective August 1st, 2018. In September, you can't vote and say we're rescinding because it's already passed. You already went past your deadline.
Plus, we said the letter, the bottom paragraph.
I'm trying to do that and listen to him.
Go ahead, read it.
The bottom paragraph says they did not require anybody to approve it for them. They are out.
August 1st.
And they demanded August 1st. We tried to get them to use March 1st. They demanded that it be August 1st.
1 year from the date.
Yes.
So when you passed a motion in September, you already went past your year. You're too late.
The point is, they were never out. They were never out. August is irrelevant.
Okay.
They were never out.
That's true, because the fire authority agreement says they have to unanimously vote out. And if Elbridge didn't, then it doesn't matter whether the village...
Where do you find that, Doug? It depends on what it says. I can show you the letters we have from a lawyer. They're out. They didn't have to have anybody approve it. That letter right there is written by your township's lawyer, Mr. Fahey. We have from the village's lawyer the same thing, that yes, they are out as of August 1st.
That's just a legal opinion.
Then we will issue in court.
Show us in the contract where it says that you have to accept your letter. Approve your going.
I'm just...
That's what I'm reporting on the agenda. That we're sent the letters from Colfax Township, and they said we're withdrawing our letter of intent to withdraw, in hopes that Colfax can be in the fire authority agreement, status quo, move along. We've done everything. Look, we went out into the township and got voted on the mills and got it passed for this. That wasn't an easy feat. There were a lot of people that were like, why should we do that? So if we went out and got it to where we got it voted that you get your mills and your money, why can't we just be in the fire authority agreement and move forward like we have in the past? Why do we have to want to spend money on lawyers? And it's all over anger and personal feelings between a few people, and it seems so ridiculous
between a few people.
It's not. But Doug, can I answer the question you just made about the village?
Yeah.
Elbridge has a 1 mil apparatus millage. They're not going to collect it this year because the other two townships didn't do it. Levitt now has a 1 mil apparatus millage. Colfax didn't even put on the board on the ballot yet for the voters to give a yes or no to that. They still haven't allowed them that opportunity. It's not fair for you guys to only pay 2 mills, and the other two townships are paying a 1 mil for apparatus.
Paying 3 mills.
Yeah.
No, they're paying 2 mills plus 1 for apparatus. That's 3 mills. We're paying 2 mills. We just voted on it, and all you're saying is that they didn't put it up for vote yet for the 1 mil apparatus.
I know, but you're 2 years behind.
Yeah, that's why Elbridge had voted not to even collect their apparatus this year to give Levitt time to catch up. So now, I'm offering as a compromise, since you only wanted to collect the 2 mills, well and good, as a compromise, pay the 2 mills, take the contract we've got for you for the 2 mills, sit in the audience.
That's ludicrous.
Well,
it's absurd. And it's not based on anything that is factual. It's
you say that,
it's based on your anger and your opinion.
I have no anger about it.
One at a time is all. Yes, sir. As the president of the board, when I read the letter, I was here when Bob stood up right there, and we are out August 1 year from this date. We said the contract, the fire authority says you have to give us, it has to go on our year, March to March. Nope. We have talked to our attorney. 1 year from today, we are out of the fire authority. That went past August.
And did the 3 entities vote on that? Because this board doesn't have anything.
Right, I know. It doesn't.
How much money would that apparatus mill be?
Well, you're going to bring in $68,000 next year for your 2 mills.
Yeah.
So it'll be 1/2 of that.
Roughly
34,000.
So if Colfax Township, to be fair, were to pay for the 3 mills, if they were to say, we'll just pay the 3 mills, like the other 2 townships are doing, you know, I mean, that's feasible because Colfax Township has enough money.
Well, but the question is,
And then put it on the
the question is, though, whether you are a member of the fire authority or not. That's the big question.
Yes.
We have a contract that we penciled up that needs to be voted on at your next meeting in 2 weeks, whether you will have fire coverage March 1st or not, according to.
And who penciled up an agreement?
We just talked, we had to do something before this meeting.
Do you know who
We
should have
tried-
penciled up an agreement?
Doug.
The 3 entities.
Doug, we tried to do an agreement, we had one written by a lawyer, everybody cussed and discussed it, and nothing could come out.
5 months ago.
Yes.
It was presented.
Yes.
that agreement that
So
you had
then,
back then was
Wayne had
absolutely
me take the
useless.
Beaver contract
No, it was
and
not
adapt it
useless.
to
Yes, it
Colfax
was.
Township.
Yes, it
Do we
was.
have a copies to give everybody?
Yes.
No,
What
it
was that?
was
Is
not
that the one
useless.
without the lawyer letterhead?
Yeah, that's one we paid for with sewer, water, pipe funds from the village.
That was just, that's,
Mike.
the contract is not,
Jerry,
It's,
that's just a simple one that maybe we can pass and they can take to their board.
who wrote this?
We
I
just
did.
took it from Beaver
Copied it,
Townships.
adapted it from the Beaver one.
And why do you think that you on this board is the one that is writing
Well,
this
you
agreement?
get to vote on it, right? We're gonna vote on it here if
It's-
people discuss it.
It's not who should write it.
On one hand, you're telling us you don't want a lawyer or a judge. Now you're telling me that you want it to be a lawyer.
No, I'm
If you
not.
want it changed, we can talk
I'm
about
not saying that I want a lawyer or a judge.
it. I know, but
I'm saying we're not out, and you guys are all
you have
arguing
got
that
to
we're
prove
out.
it. You prove it, you're not out.
Your
The proof
supervisor
is on you to
says
prove
you're
we're
out.
out.
No,
He doesn't say we're out now.
No,
I
no,
actually
no.
asked him to resign.
no, it
That's
does
the
not
last
say we have to prove
What did you say?
that you want it out.
The
You
problem
proved
with,
it.
and I haven't read all this, but the problem with, I think, if I understand what you're saying, the problem with this is you're gonna say, Colfax, give us all your money, we'll give you fire, coverage, but you don't have a voice, you don't have a dog in the fight, you don't have any say-so.
Colfax said that.
You're sitting,
We
Colfax
didn't
said
say that.
want it?
that's what your agreement
Your
said.
board said that, sir. We didn't say that.
Our board didn't say that, our board said, here's a letter of intent to
I just
withdraw.
gave you the letter.
They said,
Your
here's a
board
letter
signed-
of intent to withdraw, is what the board said.
and that went past, so you are officially withdrawn.
No,
Yeah.
because the 3 entities didn't vote.
We don't have to.
I just,
Then it only can be sent
what I am
one way.
saying is that in order for us to do a budget, which we need to talk about down here a little further, in the range of this, we'll just go to there, but we need to set a budget. We need to have meetings here in a couple of weeks and get a budget to send out to get approved before February, so we can have it approved by March, so we can have a budget, so we don't get into what we did last year, being 2 months late. And right now, unless somebody can come up with something better from the townships that tell me, or the rest of this board, that you were in, you are out. And this is a contract, just like Beaver Township. You will sign, if
Here's
you
a
want
contract
fire,
the lawyer drew up, if you want that.
10 pages.
Is that the guy that won't sign his name to it?
What do you mean, what is that?
You provided at some meeting a letter from a lawyer on a blank piece of paper with no letterhead, and you said this is from a lawyer.
Huh?
No.
What?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
You did.
Here.
I have it somewhere. I have a copy of a thing you said from a lawyer that wouldn't even put their name to it.
Beaver Township just paying
It
out.
doesn't have a letterhead, it doesn't have an attorney at law, a
I know,
phone
but-
number, an address, it has nothing.
Well, that's gone, that's past, we haven't got time to discuss that one.
You only have time to discuss what you want.
Well, it's too late for that one, you guys rejected it 5 months ago, so we're not gonna drag that dead horse up. This is a new proposal.
We rejected it 5 months ago because it was useless.
Well, that's fine, so it's, so this is the new one.
In these papers, you've got the contract for Colfax, you've got a copy of the contract for Beaver, and you've got a copy of, from the county, what was turned in on the ballot for the millage. That's how the numbers came in on the back here for that part of it. I believe someone made the comment that Mr. Wade said, you haven't been presented with a contract yet, so how can we even discuss it? At least now they've got one here. This is the same as, basically as Beaver, as you can see. So
the only thing that I can see on that agreement is that the money should be paid by March 1st, so we know we have it for our budget. But we need to know next month whether we're getting money from Colfax Township so we can set a budget.
Well, they passed the millage. We know that.
By law, we're supposed to get it when they collect it.
And you don't have to have read the art of the deal to know that that's not a good deal for you to say, well, give us your money, and we're going to throw you out in the audience, and you don't have a say in anything. And
wasn't my decision.
we didn't set that up that way, Doug.
But you're sitting here now on this board saying we're not even listening. We're not negotiating. We're not listening. We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to give you our opinion and pound it down your throat. That's what you're telling the people of Colfax, not me. I'm not taking this personal.
Can I say something?
Where?
Right.
Yeah.
Look, you're saying that you want a spot on the board. You're saying if we contract, we don't have a voice. You don't have a seat at the table. Well, your last members that were on the fire board use their seat at the table to try to leverage this fire department to break it apart. So that's the last thing that we've seen what Colfax has done with their seat at the table. That letter that says we want to withdraw, I don't believe that Colfax wanted to not be part of Walkerville Fire Department. They sent that letter saying, well, we're withdrawing to leverage to get rid of Jerry and Greg. That's what my opinion.
It was the bully tactic.
So you can say that you want to get in, and then the rest of the people need to decide, are the people that made those decisions before gone and we don't have to deal with it anymore and we can move forward? Or do we not want to be bullied like the last people were, and we fear that the next people are going to be the same way? It's kind of two different things.
So I appreciate your comment, and I guess I'm going to say, you actually said it. The people that sat here on this board from our township are what you have a problem with, or you have a problem with, or you have a problem with. These two people sitting right here are just trying to help and do what's best for the people. Do you live in Colfax?
I don't know. I live in Elbridge.
Okay. So these two people here are trying to do what's best for the people of Colfax.
We're trying to do what's best, Doug.
What?
We really are.
Trying to do what's
If
best.
you were trying to do what's best, you'd sit down and you'd say, look, Robert came off with a knee-jerk reaction and sent out a letter to intent. Whether you want to call it bullying or not, I might agree with your disagree with you.
5 people on
This
that
board doesn't have anything to do with whether Colfax is in or out. It's the entities that
You
do.
don't want to show me where in the contract says
Because I
this
have
part.
to dig through it, Jerry. I'll find it and show it to you. But Jerry Frick on this board isn't the judge, the jury. It's the
No, that's why we're saying there's going to have a judge
and Walkerville.
Right, and none of them have, as far as I know of, even had a meeting.
This contract that Jim presented to you really doesn't offer a protection to anybody that this contract did.
I know.
And we can't have this, some township or whatever down the road, I'm gonna do it this year. No, this is gonna do it that year. No.
Can I make a comment? I'd like to make a comment to the gentleman there, from Colfax. You guys sent a letter into this board, or into the entities, or whatever you said you sent it. Okay, for a year, I've read articles in the paper, I've heard all the BS from Colfax, and now you want us to open our arms and give you hugs and kisses and everything's hunky-dory, right? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
Then what are you telling me?
I didn't write that letter. That letter came from one person.
your representative did.
Let me talk. You're punishing the whole entire town because of one
You're not.
hot head.
Right, but you're the one that elected them people.
Hey,
that said that.
Hey!
We didn't know it was going to happen.
We don't want, you address the board and be recognized. We don't want you guys arguing out there.
And
Go
to
ahead.
answer his question, no.
Wait. Go ahead. but you talk to the board, don't argue amongst yourselves. Go ahead if you want.
I said it.
Okay, all right, just one.
I hope you listen.
Roger,
I did, but
right?
From the get-go, I understood when Colfax backed out, we backed out just like Wade said for 1 year. Now, excuse me, I know you two fellas, and I respect your judgment, was convinced that we wasn't really out. And I told Wade, and him and I had a chat, said, I can't imagine when August 1st was coming up, he was out there for something just before that, said, I can't imagine this important date coming up, and this board is sitting on their laurels, not doing something about this is an important date coming up. He said, it's not important because we didn't back out, we didn't leave. And I said, yes, I think you did. So I have to agree with Wayne there, and I know you guys are not convinced that we did leave, but I'm convinced that we did. So that's just my opinion.
And I wasn't here when this all
I know
happened.
you
I didn't
weren't.
vote for Robert
No,
Wade.
you wasn't.
I didn't either.
I mean, I wasn't here to vote, guys. I'm you know,
Well, I
I
know,
understood,
elected
just like
official's
Wayne
elected
said.
official, and for the township. Whether or not you voted personally for him or not, they are still representative of your township, elected official. You know, I gotta put up Whitmer for the next few years too, and I didn't vote for her.
I don't know who that is, but you obviously know that everybody
your
doesn't.
governor, your governor.
Everybody doesn't get to love and agree the person that's their elected official. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Well,
So
no.
whether we agree with what Robert did or not, or whether we agree with what Jerry did or not, it's irrelevant. Right now, we have to say what's best for the people, and what's best for the people is to be part of this good fire department and mend the bridges and move forward. And
but my understanding, and I read that thing for 2 years, but the fire authority is that the other 3 entities are who you need to be talking to. We talked about that 2 months ago. Mr. Buter told you that you needed to get the lawyer to talk to the entity.
you don't need to get the lawyer.
Well, but somebody needed to do it. And still, here we are, 2 months later, and it's not done.
And ask yourself, why do we need to talk to the other 3 entities?
So
Because
we're doing
they're
this
the
right.
ones, they're the ones that are supposed to
Because
make
they're
the
the
decision.
ones that
That's
are
right. That's right.
Larry.
Larry
It's not
just
about
said
right.
it. Doug, Larry just said it. Them are the ones that make the decision, not
They're the
us.
ones that are supposed to make the decision, and they never made it.
And if they didn't make the
The village
decision
did.
to remove
The
us,
village
they
did.
don't
The
have to
village
make a
accepted it.
decision
But
to.
Elbridge didn't,
Well,
and that's part of the group
And I
that's.
believe, anybody here from the Levitt board?
not
Yeah.
nobody knew,
But,
I'm
yeah,
sure
but
I
I
got.
think back then, at that time, I think it was accepted through Levitt also, I'm not positive.
Yes,
So-
it was.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yep.
So you're saying that there would be Levitt minutes somewhere from a board meeting that says we voted and we accepted
Yes.
and we voted Colfax out.
Yep.
I looked.
And if Elbridge didn't, then
But, Doug,
it's not valid.
Well, let Doug finish, then you can talk.
Doug, they didn't vote Colfax out. They accepted Colfax's withdrawal. They didn't tell him to leave.
Yep.
We're not telling you to leave. We want these people to have coverage. That's why we're at least saying, while all this drama goes on, at least do the contract so we can make sure they have coverage.
I am sure I have a letter from Levitt Township, and I tried to find it yesterday. I went through this is stuff from a year ago, 2 years ago. I am sure I have a letter from, because I got, but I can't find it. I will find it. I'm gonna go back through. I got a pile of shit by my desk this week from the last 2 years.
Yeah, I do too, and I've only
And
This is just
but
part
I
of
am
the
sure
file.
I have a letter from Levitt Township saying they accepted it. And I am pretty sure, and Craig says no, I am pretty sure that Craig called me and told me he accepted it. Because I needed to, again.
Craig is only one person on the board.
Well, but
The board has to vote.
But I am sure that they vote. Again, I am pretty positive that that he called and told me that the board did accept it. And Levitt Township, I'm sure I got a letter from him, but I can't. Like I say, I need to go back. I got to go through a bunch. But what we are proposing is, as of today, is that we have a proposal for the 2 mills for 10 years. I mean, it's just that can be changed, but that's what you voted in your millage for. And so you will have coverage March 1st. until we can
But
do
no
something,
voice.
resolve this somehow, because.
But no voice, that's right.
Correct. Well, it's a contract, yes, it'd be just like
So-
Beaver Township. But,
Which if things get back to, I mean, not that they are, they're much better now, but if things ever got back to the way they were, then Colfax is gonna be sitting there paying a whole bunch of money and not being able to hold anybody accountable or have.
well, there's no
consequence or
reason
have
6
a-
months from now, if you go through the proper channels, that you can't be back on the board.
So, the other part of what was going on right now was the entities were supposed to appoint 2 people from each entity to sit
Yeah.
down together
Yes.
and work on creating a better
6 months ago.
fire authority agreement. And it hasn't happened yet because it sounds like the village said we're not gonna participate, and Levitt said we're not gonna participate until after the elections.
Can
So
I make a
we've,
comment on that a minute before you go any
yeah, go
further?
ahead. That's just what I heard. We haven't
3
done it
years
because-
ago, there was an amendment presented to the 4 entities to allow this board to do monthly meetings, not bi-monthly meetings. By the agreement, we're only supposed to be doing bi-monthly meetings. The village passed that amendment. The 3 townships said we have to talk to our lawyer, they tabled it. It's never had anything happen. We are having meetings, special meetings, special meetings. Our agreement doesn't provide for us to have meetings every month. How do you expect somebody to rewrite the agreement and all the entities agree when you can't even agree on having monthly meetings?
Gary?
And also, there was an amendment to hire this accounting firm.
Yep.
By rights, that violates the agreement.
Yep.
The village of Waterville was the only one that passed that amendment, and they had that amendment back in 2016.
There was
And none of the townships had done a thing, so we're in violation to hire an accounting firm, because the townships
But
never
don't you
amended
agree
the agreement.
if we rewrote the fire authority agreement and made that better, cleaner,
Who
probably a
decided
lot-
who decided they was gonna have the meeting to rewrite the fire agreement?
I think all the entities said, well, look,
No.
Well,
they
no.
didn't.
At that annual meeting in Elbridge, that's when it was brought up, that they would get 2 people from each, it was at that meeting, that they'd get 2 people from each entity and review it and try to come up, clean it up. That was, what was that, May?
This year?
Yeah.
yeah. And we appointed 2 people from Colfax, and I think Elbridge appointed 2 people, and I'm not sure about Levitt. And what I was told, to finish, was that the village said, no, we're not gonna appoint 2 people, we're gonna wait till after the election.
They
So
were
it's
2
not-
people in the village to that first meeting they had.
They didn't have any meetings.
Yes, they did. They had one.
Over at Craig Herman's house.
Yes.
No,
Yes, Doug.
But I'm just
Larry
saying,
Burmaster and Bob Wade was there from Colfax.
that's different, that's not the
Would you like to see the minutes for that meeting? I did them.
but that don't, but what I'm saying is, what my
We're
thing
talking about
is,
2
that-
different meetings.
but what I'm saying is
No,
that
we're not.
the townships, or the entities, whatever you wanna call them, are not, I mean, cause Buter was one of the people that was appointed, him and Craig. Well, he's not on the board anymore, so now they need to appoint a new person, and same with, Elbridge. They have to vote for, appoint a new person, and then now maybe they can have a meeting. But they have to do that. We cannot mandate that they have these meetings. We have no authority to that. They have to get together, and how that's happening is not happening. But this board has no say over that.
The meeting that I'm talking about, that they were supposed to have that they never did, were 2 people from
Right.
each entity, not this board. This board had
Right.
nothing
No, I
to
can
do with it.
understand that.
And those 2 people from each entity were gonna work together and take the 86 Fire Authority Agreement, the 2001, and then what's the last one you rewrote? What year?
I rewrote.
You didn't rewrite anything.
2000, and what was the latest one? I don't know.
2001.
That was in 2001.
One, and then there was an 86, a 98, and a
I haven't
2001.
wrote any of the agreements.
Those are all from a lawyer.
But whatever.
Somebody drafted them and sent them to the lawyer.
No, they came from a lawyer.
Oh, no.
No, but whatever, I'm just saying is that
Then why
entities,
is the wholesale changes in the 2001 from that? What's
Because it was written specifically for USDA, because that's when they had to do the loans
It
for
had
the
to be
vehicles.
some different to
So we had to do
for
it, we had to do it
USDA.
specifically for approvals through USDA.
All right, we're getting in the weeds. If we can rewrite the fire authority agreement, we can clean up a lot of this language and make it so.
correct, that's fine. But what are we gonna do about coverage March 1st?
We're saying,
what is Colfax Township gonna do? Right now, you have coverage to March 1st, that is it. So what are you gonna do March 2nd?
Can I say something? I think somebody from Colfax, hopefully it's Wade, but I don't think we'll do it, I would think, submit another letter asking to get back in.
They've done that.
Very simple, just a couple sentences, that's all it would take. I think.
Roger, I mean, that would,
This letter that Sandy wrote, she is still of the opinion that it really didn't leave. That's why that letter is read. That's the big sticker right there. Did we leave or didn't we leave?
and if we wrote a letter that said, hey, can we get back in, then that's admitting that we were out. And I say we because I live in Colfax.
That's right, I think we were out.
I'll
be honest with you, I think we were out.
And I'll have to find what I'm talking about that you keep saying, show me, but I'll.
That's right.
Well,
I don't know.
But,
So, I guess what I'm saying is the burden of the proof would be on, not this board, would be on the entities to say you're out.
No.
Not for Colfax to prove that we're in.
well, then
It is. You don't need
That's
everyone
your
to say you're
opinion.
out. One person say you're out.
That's your opinion.
You're gonna have to
hold on, Leonard.
Mr. Erickson, up there in the front, hate to call you out this carpet. Do you or do you not have a video or recording of Colfax's meeting where Bob Wade said that his attorney misled them that they are out of the fire authority agreement because of the withdrawal letter? They said they could withdraw it, but the attorney misled them and after taking it back to the boss, they were wrong. That was Bob Wade himself, along with the rest of the board who argued with Bob, and Bob said, no, we're out.
Do you have that recording?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I asked you to watch it. I gave you my channel. I said, Doug, go home and read them. There's 22 of them. I've got Levitt's acceptance, but it's not necessary to have an acceptance. And I'll come clean with you right now. Gaten Gervil-Reich is a friend of mine, and I met him through my association with Warner, Norcross, and Judd. We were in need of an opinion that would counterbalance Mr. Wade's bullying the fricks out of this department. So I sought an opinion from Gerbil. Now Gerbil's specialty is taking problems that Fahey and Associates have made for townships trying to take fire departments apart. And my first conversation with him was, I've been here before, I've cleaned up these messes before. The opinions that you have been hearing that are on letterhead, that are signed, the burden of proof is not for the remaining entities to say you're out. The burden of proof is your letter of withdrawal holds water.
Because that's
According to your lawyer.
No, that's what Fahey Associates told.
And Fahey and Associates agreed with that the night that they were asked at a Colfax Town Board meeting, and he said, you're not going to like the answer. It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
you go back and find it. I gave you the channel.
If you read the letter of intent, by definition, this is a letter saying, hey, we intend to remove ourselves in whenever.
March 1st.
So, but just in, I mean, you don't have to.
No, it said it was final. End of story. We're out. We're going to start our own department, and we're going to find all the people to man it.
The letter of intent to withdraw is a letter of intent.
No, it was a withdrawal letter.
Anyway, point of order, I asked we move on, we killed this horse.
Sorry, we did that.
So, does this board want to
Mr. Chairman,
give Colfax Township this contract?
can I make a motion so we can have this discussion? I make a motion that this board approve the contract we've put together with the addition of that it be paid by March 1st.
Support? I will support it so we can discuss it. Everybody has a copy.
We just discussed it to death.